You want to start us off?
With
I don't know. Say hello.
hello.
Hello. Yeah, that's awful.
Hello. We're
Bro's
back.
nervous like we're talking to women. We're not. We're
Wow.
good. We're good. We're
back.
getting
Well,
no
I didn't
cookie.
expect to be doing a recording today.
Yeah, we kind of just finished last week's episode or this week's episode of Daredevil season 3, or actually not season 3 because we started
Episode
season 3 on accident.
You keep saying season, like I noticed, and you made me say it.
Yeah,
last time.
it's so
You kept saying
confusing.
season 1, and I'm like, bro, stop it. And then I said it, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, episode 1.
Yeah, so we just watched Born Again's episode 3, which we'll talk about at the end again. We'll go spoiler free, and then we'll go full on spoiler, dive down, break down the episode, give our thoughts on it. Especially, dude, they love just like tossing like a cliffhanger ending, and you're just like,
That's how you keep them coming
you're
back.
just in
how you
distraught
keep 'em
until
coming back.
until next week's episode. But we have a really controversial casting with Professor Snape. I'm gonna read you some stuff from like how Google and how other websites describe Professor Snape, and the book. And then the casting, which we've got it's controversial. That's usually what we do.
You know, I mean, it's kind of a close cast.
Then this is perfect timing because Sadie Sink just got cast as
Someone.
well. We don't know in
Spider-Man 4.
We have a couple options. We were kind of ranting about this for a bit. We'll probably rehash the conversation on here for you guys.
I'll go off. I'll do a rant.
Yeah, dude. And then we'll wrap up with Daredevil and stuff as well, and who we think we're gonna see. I have a couple ideas of who I think a bad guy is because we haven't seen Muse yet, which is still showed in the trailer. And as of this point, we don't really have the villain of the show. You know what I'm saying? We have Kingpin,
Right.
but he is a bad guy, but he looks like he's just pulling strings.
I'm gonna bring up a point when we talk about it.
That's fine. I think anything
I
else.
kind of didn't verbalize when we were talking about it downstairs.
Yeah, we'll start off with Harry Potter unless you have some beforehand.
No, you can start there.
You have the actor's name? I'm trying to think. I know you just had it up. I have the chapter, or I have the book, how it describes it, and we'll break it down for you.
It's Papa Esidu.
Yeah, so I'll throw it on camera for you. So Professor Snape in the HBO Max Harry Potter series, which has been like, They had J.K. Rowling in on part of this. She's like, all right, we're going to do it faithful, loyal to the books. We'll go in more detail with some of the characters because we're doing a series. And I think they said, like, it's like 6 to 9 seasons because we talked about it one time, how it's absurd amount of episodes. Yeah. And they just cast Professor Snape, and it's going crazy with the whole woke and DEI agenda and why are we casting this character and how many times can we why take the source material and just cast someone completely different? I don't understand this. Like, some people were like, you know who I'd want? Adam Driver.
That would be pretty cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd like that.
I could see that, and I would see this. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he's too A-list.
Regardless if he's A-list or not, which I don't think Adam Driver is technically A-list.
Dude, part of me, I don't think so either, but part of me feels like I think he is.
I don't think he's A-list. But I will say that, he might be a little too top tier in a sense for the show. But if you look at some of his past work, I think this would kind of be something that's right up his alley. Will say
I could see as well
that, like, before we get into it, this poor dude who, like, we got to remember, like, a lot of, like, these DEI
What did you say his name, Papa?
It's like PAAPAESSIEUDU or something.
Yeah.
If I almost
Who's calling me on Discord?
I don't know. Probably Cheek.
I don't know. You keep talking. I'll see who's calling me on Discord.
We talk about all this, but at the same time, like, these are just people trying to get a job. Like, it's honestly on the show and the casting director and all that. But, Rip?
I don't know who Tristan is. Let's keep going, though.
Yeah,
Make sure I didn't mess up any recordings or whatever.
These people are just like, they're like, oh, I'll take this job, whatever. And it's on the casting director and the studio behind the show.
So pretty much break it down. If you guys don't know, I'll just call him Papa because I actually don't really know much from what he's from.
Papa.
And then
I'm gonna look it back up.
Yeah, but so
Papa.
Severus Snape is described in the book, and I looked it up, and I'll put it on screen for you guys. But I'll also read it, and you can Google it as well. His physical appearance is he's thin, pale skin, swallow or silky-looking complexion. He has a hooked nose, greasy, slick back hair. Whoever played him before. Pretty spot on for like how Professor Snape is supposed to look.
Adam Driver would be a good casting if you were trying to stick to like the original material of like the movie because
which is what you should do.
Like he follows.
Which is what you should stick to.
Well.
Like if you're gonna do the books, people read these books for these characters that are super important for a specific reason, and then you take it and you miscast, and people aren't even upset because of race or color. They just don't understand why you would do this.
Yeah.
What's the motive behind it? You know it's going to cause drama. There are people out there who are petty enough to where they're not going to watch the show now. Because you have no faith in it. How do you trust the rest of the casting? This guy could be a phenomenal actor, and I feel bad for him in the sense because he is taking a job at the end of the day. But he does know, this is going to cause drama. Like if we took some people from like Black Panther's timeline in the comics, and then we're going to do this comic, and then we take Killmonger, and then he's white.
Yep.
Like Ryan Gosling is playing Killmonger. You're kind of like, dude, this makes no sense.
A similar analogy.
But then you do a reverse, and now it's like, why?
Yep.
And Professor Snape is a pretty decent part in the books.
Yeah,
it's not like this is a small character.
No, he's around.
Even you get to the Half-Blooded Prince and everything.
Yep.
Like, and the lore starts coming out. Like, this guy's not like, he's not maybe like one of, I mean, this wouldn't work, but like one of the Weasley twins that's here and there.
They had to make their equivalent,
at least in the movies,
to like a clap back to like Disney with and this is how I feel it's working out. They had to make a clap back to Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, and it wouldn't be a clapback if one show had a hire that like it was getting all this controversy. And let me just say, so with the hiring process, I haven't seen anything that says it's official, but it does sound like they're in closing, closing works of his contract.
Yep.
So it's not official, but it sounds like it's pretty close.
Do you trust the rest of the casting then? If like you just start losing hope for the show before it's even out.
I mean, again, like you said, regardless of their acting skills, like you look at Percy Jackson, like, you know, Annabeth for starters, and it's just like they're kind of doing the exact same thing here.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't stop because then you get a character that like you're really.
The thing is too, like this guy had to private his Instagram just for you guys that don't know. This guy could be a great actor, but it doesn't matter how good he does. He's going to get hate. Like he's not going to match up to the role, and it doesn't like. You're just doomed to fail from there. And there's so many people in the show now, or that were excited and like, you know what, I'll give it a watch. I'm down to enter the wizarding world again of Harry Potter. And now it's just like, I don't trust anything. I don't trust your casting. I don't trust you're gonna write the story correctly now. Like, how is this gonna go? This is one of the first castings we've seen. They casted Dumbledore, and it was an elderly gentleman. I apologize, I can't remember his name, but he goes, "This is like my last farewell for acting."
Yeah.
Like, I love that because you know he's going to put his effort in for a show for the while. He's putting his last stamp on it as acting, and then he's like, I'm done. I hope you guys enjoy what I did, whether it's for the fans, for the kids, whoever's watching it. But he's in there to put in work. And you can see that because he's like, I was going to retire, reached out. They think I'd be a great fit, auditioned, all that stuff. I'm good to go. I'm going to do this. This is going to be my last stamp of approval for my acting career. I hope you guys enjoy it. Coming into that, I'm like, dude, I'm hyped now for him.
Keeping this in mind, like you said, J.K. Rowling talking about like, oh, we're going to try and keep it close to the books and this, that, and the other thing. But it's just like, you look at stuff like this and think of the people that are going to be growing up and the first experience they're going to have with Harry Potter.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about Rachel Ziegler after this as well.
This
My
show,
bad.
right?
Yeah.
So like, I never read the Harry Potter books, but I watched the movies.
Yep.
And the movies were my first experience with it. Like, as I get deeper, like my algorithm switches up on like Instagram, TikTok, and like sometimes like it's Harry Potter stuff just because like I'm always in that type of stuff with like comics, anime, like that
nerd
type
stuff.
Of world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like there's been plenty of times where it's like when I watched the movies through, I was like, I didn't really like that character.
Yeah.
And Ron Weasley being one of them. Like I just did not like his character throughout the shows. And it turns out movies didn't do him justice. From what I found out in the books, he's a lot better of a character. And it's just one of those things. Same thing with like Ginny Potter.
Yep.
Like apparently she's a much more outspoken character, like a much better character in the books.
In the movie, you're kind of like, why are they a thing?
Exactly.
You're like why not Hermione? And then
the whole relationship scheme between them, because it was my
Yeah.
first time watching a movie series like that where it was like, the main character doesn't get the main girl.
Yep.
And you're just like, why are they kind of like throwing these random characters in to have purpose when it doesn't seem like they have purpose? And now you're doing this, and it's like, you're doing the show, and now what are you gonna? You're saying you're gonna keep it close because even J.K. Rowling talked about like certain things that she did in the movie that she wishes was different at certain points, like with the movies. But at that time, like however many years ago, But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, now are you just going to build more regrets? And again, show's not out. It might be word for word from what comes out of the book, but it's like, you know, at the same time, you're going to have people whose first
you're just like
instant, whose first,
on,
like,
man.
if they ever go to read the books because they're like, oh, I want to see what's different.
Yeah.
They're going to have those visuals in their head while you're trying to give one description. And it's like, and then if a character doesn't play out the way you want because it's an actor that you didn't want, even if they're like a perfect looking match, but their acting sucks. You know, it's like there's so many things that like taking into consideration that you should do your utmost best to set yourself up for success. There's a reason people
love these characters,
and you're not doing that with this.
I don't get it at all. I don't want any character swapped. I don't want a black guy being a white guy. I don't want a white guy being a black guy. I don't want like Asian being not Asian. I don't want Hispanic being like. I don't even want Blue Beetle being cast as like a normal white, like me, like a ginger. I'd be like, this doesn't make sense.
Like, oh, what's his name? Watching Blue Beetle on my way back from deployment, by the way, I actually thought it was a fun little movie. Yeah. I don't think it was any like type stuff.
It looks like a Nickelodeon movie.
Right. Like, but I didn't think it was anything that should set DC up for the future, but I thought it was a good watch.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was like a fun one-off, but by no means did I watch that thinking, oh, DC's back.
Yeah, we're back. It's just so frustrating for these top tier shows that like we're excited to watch and dive back into Harry Potter. There's so many diehard fans and they've read the books, and now you're gonna read the book. If kids go back, like, let me read the source material, and then they're gonna see like a thin, hooked nose, like pale, sleek black hair character enters the scene, and you're reading,
and they're like, who's this?
And they're like Professor Snape, and you're just like, I thought he was like a black guy or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I guess not, and then you're like, wait, why'd they cast him in this show for this role? And it's just the guy can kill the role too. People are still going to be upset.
Yep.
Like, you just do an unnecessary drama for no reason. Like, I don't understand why
all for media.
Yeah. If you're doing that alone just for media to where the guy has to private his Instagram, come on. That's kind of toxic. I'm not going to lie. That's actually pretty toxic. Yeah. If you're just for, like, clicks. But you didn't get anyone excited.
Bad media. Or what is it? Bad publicity?
Yeah. No one's excited now. Like, it's like.
It raises a lot of questions on where they're going to go in the future with it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you said, can you trust the casting after that?
Yeah, you're like, I don't know.
Because then people are going to get over this, and if they come publicly out with another bad cast, and it's just like, well, you got over this one.
Yeah.
And it's like, you didn't give us a choice.
Yeah. Like if Disney did a live action Princess and the Frog, because they're doing live action Snow White, which is actually pretty horrendous casting right now.
Yeah.
I don't want all the cast being white because it's not the Princess and the Frog. Like, I don't understand why it's so hard not to. But you got anything else on?
No, on Harry Potter? No, not really.
Yeah. It still comes out. I think it's like 2026 is when it drops. So we still have a minute. We'll probably be hearing major casting soon.
I would think. It depends on when in 2026 it comes out.
Yeah.
I would assume probably summertime, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, I'd subscribe to stay up to date because we'll keep you guys posted when they do officially announce it and stuff like that. But so Snow White and them launched another teaser trailer, and I did a reaction on my channel if you guys watch. It's like a 1-minute clip of her interaction with Gal Gadot at like a dinner table. Dude, I swear the comments are full of bots. Like, I haven't seen this level of acting in years. I can't wait to watch this. And I'm reading the comments on my recording, and I'm like, there's no way these are real. There's absolutely no way. I felt the tension in this scene so bad.
You know it's not. You use bots on your YouTube
comments. Dude. It's just you guys. Yeah. The bots are just my friends. But
they're like, oh, yeah, great content. Dude, this sucks.
Yeah, it's my alternate channels. Tyler Lover 135, like Ladies Man 217. That's just my accounts.
I mean, not for nothing. I've seen you comment and have a conversation between Antics and Tyler Bliss.
Dude, it happens, but it boosts views. It's rough out here. It's rough. We're gang like that. But
more like it.
But so they're as of right now not doing a red carpet or any like early fan screenings for the movie.
I wouldn't either.
Which is
is
a telltale sign that you're hooked.
Yeah.
Where's your? If you don't have faith in it, why would I have faith in it?
They're not doing early screenings, but you know there's going to be early reviews from critics. Oh, this is the best movie. IGN's going to rate it a 9 out of 10.
a bag dropped off to their door from Disney.
Oh, this is the greatest movie we've seen.
I can't wait to watch some of like like the people I watch on YouTube review movies. I can't wait to watch them review it and like give an honest opinion.
Oh my god.
Like I was watching the little clip and I was like, this feels like they're just reading a poem. Like a script.
Yeah.
There's not the acting part. It's like they're just reading it off And then that's it. It was so corny. They were talking about apple pie, but that's only they don't deserve it because they don't work hard enough for apple pie. Only good people can have it. And I was like, someone wrote this down. And then they did ASMR with like crab legs.
What?
She's like, have you seen
I don't
like
think that was a review you were watching. I think you were watching something else. You were on the back pages of
in
Twitch.
the back rooms. Oh wait, that's also gonna be a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
which I just found out about.
have you seen like a movie where like a villain maybe like eat an apple and they make him look menacing trying to do stuff like that? Well,
Menacing's not the word I would use.
They use Gal Gadot and she's like making a point.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't call that menacing.
And then she's
I would call that something else.
She takes the crab legs and goes, like you're trying to make a point. And I was like, yo, this isn't real. I was like, I think in my view, I was like, ooh, shiver me timbers here. I'm concerned. And Snow White, the fairest of them all, is.
Having met Gal Gadot in person, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch that movie.
Yeah, with your pants on?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's why you're not going to the theater. Bro, he's still hugging onto that hug.
That's wild. That's insane.
That's wild. But
that was a while ago.
That was.
2017, maybe?
What did you go see her for? Was it a Comic-Con thing?
Yeah, they were running chips. They were running tickets online, and Daniel was asking everyone who they wanted to go, and I was like, "Go where?" And he was like, "Meet Gal Gadot at a Comic-Con." I was like, "Sign me up! How much?" And it was just me and him. We drove to New York. Yep, December 11th, 2017.
That's nuts. Bro's got that on speed dial.
I've got it on Instagram still. I refuse to take that post down, dude.
What if your girlfriend says take it down?
You know what's crazy? And we were matching.
What if your girlfriend says take it down?
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, to the streets. To the streets for you.
Yeah, dude. And the day before, she was wearing like a red dress because it was a 2-day event, and she was like posting it on her Instagram. Should have went that day.
You were praying,
but I was matching with her that day,
yeah.
And not for nothing because we were talking about height or whatever, and I was like, oh, so I think I'm taller than her, which I'm not.
Yeah, she mugged you.
How tall is she?
She's got to be 5'11", 6
She
foot.
wasn't that much taller than me, but then in the picture, she's like taller than me, and she was wearing heels. And I was just like, it's okay. I respect that. Nothing wrong with a taller. Nothing wrong with a taller one.
I'll climb the tree.
But yeah, dude. Oh, that was a great day. I walk up because they tell you to be quick and like whatever, say hi and whatever, and take your picture. And I was just like, I remember I was like so shell shocked. I was just like, wow. And she was like, oh my God, you're so nice. You didn't have to. Throws her arm around me, take the picture. Oh, dude, I was cheesing from ear to ear. I'm still grinning just thinking about it. It was such a great like.
The last time man was touched by a woman was Gal Gadot.
That was a great experience.
That's nuts.
And then we saw Jason Momoa down the hallway.
Yeah, that's also a man.
Dude, he was like, even at a distance, he was just massive. And you're just like, all right, bro.
Yeah, like I kind of look like him. Like, same muscle-wise and everything, like density. Would you say?
No. I would not say. I would actually say quite the opposite.
Come on, bro.
Quite the
I
opposite.
can't even wear sleeves. Like, let's be for real here.
Yeah, you choose not to wear sleeves.
Dude, they came off?
There's a reason everyone gives you long sleeves.
They give me
and
coats.
You rip them off because you think you're
Again!
funny.
But, yeah, so that movie, I think, is doomed to fail. If you're not excited about your movie, then I'm not either. And I don't think it's going to make its money back. I think it's got to make over $600,000 to, like, even start to make its money back. And I just don't see that happening. That's a big... That's going to be their second flop of the year.
That's when you start making movies with YouTube actors.
Yeah. That's literally going to be their second flop of the year, though. Because,
No, you didn't get that?
I got it. Oh, no! I'm in it.
Thought I was going to get a bigger reaction out of that one.
No. I was just thinking they cast me in Shrek as, like the Do the Roar kid grown up.
Do the Roar.
Or like the gingerbread man. But, yeah, that movie's going to be chalked. But now, okay, so as of right now, Sadie Sink is cast in Spider-Man 4, and we don't have an official role yet. Obviously, the obvious choice is looking to be Mary Jane Watson, but I think this is just going to leave a bunch of confusion because Zendaya's character is also known as
MJ.
My friends call me MJ. Now, there was another rumor it could be Jean Grey, but then I come into the problem of who are they going against as a villain if Jean Grey is going to be on Spider-Man's side?
Maybe she's a villain.
Spider-Man's dead.
Facts.
Phoenix.
So
okay.
I said If they go with the Jean Grey thing, I think Spider-Man is a great gateway into leading the X-Men into the MCU because there's plenty of times where people think he's a mutant in the comics and stuff like that. And, there's been X-Men versus Avengers and this, that, and the other thing. But, I think Spider-Man would be a great gateway into leading the X-Men because, he goes out with Kitty Pryde. Or Pride? Is it Price or Pride?
Kitty Pryde. Yeah. I can't remember. Actually,
I'm having such a huge brain fart right now. But
Kitty.
regardless, he's got a relationship with one of them. He's on good terms with the X-Men most of the time.
He's a player.
There's plenty of back and forth between him and Wolverine. While Wolverine also with the Avengers and stuff like that, Spider-Man just has a lot of
he's well intertwined with everyone too. Even if you drop into the Fantastic Four, he's dapping up Johnny.
I want to say more well known. That's what I kind of wanted to go with. There's a lot of people that if they're name someone who has a collab with the X-Men that's not an X-Men. I feel like Spider-Man would be one of the first people to pop up. I don't see it as a bad thing if she gets cast as Jean Grey. I just think that's an interesting one. To introduce.
To throw in Spider-Man 4. Right. I think that would be the interesting. Because I want her as Jean Grey. She has longevity.
My thing is, if you pick someone that young and you want to introduce the X-Men, I could see her getting casted as... Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde.
Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, it might be.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I got to Google it now. This is going to bother me. I think it's Kitty Pryde.
Yeah. But she is a great... I said earlier, I don't think you cast... a redhead on purpose to not have a redhead role.
I was right.
So that's why Jean Grey or Mary Jane Watson are the first two that come to my mind. But it's just so confusing if they cast her as Mary Jane Watson. I feel like considering that Zendaya's character and they gave her the whole nickname MJ, I feel like for that reason, that's what would make sense to me.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. I mean, how many times do you change your hair for a movie? It is a thing that happens. People they dye their hair, this, that, and the other thing. She could have just really been... I
don't know. I'll put money on she doesn't dye her hair.
I mean, I'm not saying that she will. I'm just saying it's not completely out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Because I think Kitty Pryde... If you're going to introduce the X-Men in Spider-Man 4, I think you do it through Spider-Man and Kitty Pryde hitting it off. And then at some point, he's like, oh, well, how haven't I heard of you? And she was like, oh, well, I'm part of this team called the X-Men. Yeah. And then X-Men, oh, what's that? Boom, there you go. Marvel's in the X-Men. Yeah. Or X-Men's in Marvel.
I mean, I could see something like that.
I feel like if you're going to introduce
with another Jean Grey and then another, you get two redheads on the X-Men.
If you're going to introduce anyone, well, she wouldn't be a redhead though. She would dye her hair.
I don't see that happening.
I'm saying if they were to take the Kitty Pryde route. Because my point is, I think if you're going to introduce any mutant through Spider-Man, you take someone like Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they did the first X-Men movie. It was Logan picking up Kitty Pryde. No, did he pick up Rogue?
Who?
In the first X-Men movie. He picked up Rogue, didn't he? I don't think he picked up Kitty Pryde. The 1999, 2000.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that.
I think he picked up Rogue.
Yeah.
It might have been Rogue. Man, it's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just... there's too many things where it would just be confusing. Again, I want someone younger cast as Jean Grey so we have a longevity for the X-Men. Because the Avengers is almost done. Secret Wars and all that stuff and Doomsday, after that, they're pretty much wrapping up all the Avengers stuff, I would assume. Because they've done a lot. So it's going to be falling into the lap of, I don't know, the X-Men? That's what I'm assuming at this point. Because that's their next big team. We already seen Beast. Because what's her name is over there with Beast. We've already seen Beast in the MCU. Because someone from WandaVision, she has the black hair and everything. She ended up in the realm with Beast, and Beast was doing work on her.
In WandaVision?
She was in, I'm trying to think of her name. I think her name's Pulsar or something. You don't remember this?
No.
Yeah, Beast is already...
Seeing Beast?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing Beast
It was in a post-credit scene. I think it was the Marvel's post-credit scene.
Oh, well, that's why. Because I didn't watch that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen quite a few of the most recent MCU stuff.
Yeah, it may have been when you were deployed and stuff.
I don't think it was. I just think I chose not to watch
Monica
it.
Rambeau, I think that's her name.
Oh, yeah, from WandaVision.
Yeah.
I remember her. I was thinking, yes, I didn't realize that. I was thinking you were saying Beast was in WandaVision.
No, I was trying to think of the girl's name or whatever
Okay,
from
so
WandaVision.
it was in the Marvels that they show Beast. Okay, that makes sense why I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Lacking. I've said this.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I was trying to think of her name and I couldn't think of it for a second. Then I was like, oh, Monica Rambeau. So we already know the X-Men are like in this realm and stuff like that. So I'm just popular today.
Okay, I'm not even gonna make the comment I was gonna make. Is that recording it?
It's only if it's picked up in our mics. How do I turn that off?
Go to Do Not Disturb or mute that call. You can right click on whatever it is. Right click that chat. Okay.
Oh, my bad. You have to call again. Who's Tristan in our Discord?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, so I don't know. Jean Grey or MJ, what's your choice? Who do you think it's going to be?
Between those two?
Yeah.
I have to pick between those two?
I think that's the two options.
I think they're really crappy options, in all honesty.
Who's another I know you're saying Kitty. I just don't think you're casting a genuine redhead to then have her dye her hair to play another character. I just feel like that's odd.
I don't know. I don't think it's that odd, though, dude.
Okay, if they're doing, like, you know, Starfire's hair is, like, red pretty much. And, like,
Yeah.
And then they're like, Teen Titans, we casted a redhead. And they're like, we're having her dye her hair black to play Raven. I'd be like...
I think it depends.
And then you're like, we're casting someone with black hair to play Starfire.
If they look the part...
I'd be like, that's not Starfire, that's Blackfire. Well, Blackfire's hair, we're going to do this. And then it's like, this doesn't make sense.
I don't think that's necessary. Dude, I feel they have wigs. People change their hair for shows all the time.
I don't think so.
They change their hair for shows all the time. I do not think dyeing your hair for a part is that crazy. I see your point.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm sure if I had time to think about it, I could come up with a more logical idea of who they're going to cast. Who knows? Maybe she's not even like a main star. Maybe she's just a background character. Like, I doubt it, but I'm just saying.
So you think Kitty Pryde is like your first choice right now? Or like who you think?
I think Kitty Pryde would make more sense. I don't think that's what Marvel's going to do. But I don't think that Jean Grey is... I don't think she's playing Jean Grey. Like, that's why I'm saying between just MJ, like Mary Jane, or... Jean Grey, I don't think either of those options make as much sense as Kitty Pryde. Like, I think they're all tabled at the same thing because you already have MJ.
I agree. I think those are confusing options.
I think throwing Jean Grey in there is absolutely absurd because it doesn't make sense because Jean Grey always gets picked up by Xavier at a younger age.
Yeah.
I just think Kitty Pryde, like, if you were going to, like, experiment with characters that are around his same age who she could fit that part, I would need to sit down and I would need to, like, think about and look over, like, who is someone, because you got to remember, he's at college at this point. So it's like, what potential around the same age person, if it's going to be, like, a super powered person, could he run into? And it's like, I think Kitty Pryde would make more sense than Black Cat, even though there's been rumors about Black Cat getting casted, but I think that...
You think Kitty Pryde makes more sense than Black Cat?
Well, yeah.
As her casting, or are you saying...
No,
okay,
her,
I agree with that. I agree with
because,
that
like, the rumor has been Black Cat's going to be in Spider-Man 4, and I think you can get a better casting because Black Cat's, I think, older than him. So that's where you would probably have to go somewhere. Like, people have rumor milled, like, Sydney Sweeney. Like, everyone wants to see that, but, you know. But, like, I'm sure you could get someone that would almost be, like...
Yep.
You know, they would be like a senior in college. Like, that would be their age mark. Like, I feel like you have to pick someone that's a little older than him because Black Cat comes across as more mature.
Yeah. I'm reading the comments on, like, some of IGN's and stuff to see who they're saying.
But, like,
as well.
I feel like there's got to be a more sensible option than Jean Grey or...
I know, too.
Or another MJ. Because, like, you know, I said it downstairs. You said it up here. It's like... Trying to make Mary Jane Watson fit in the realm with someone who's called MJ, like, I feel like that's just, you're trying to plug in too many holes to, like, stay comic accurate, which everyone knows, like, the MCU is comic accurate, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like, they've said it. They're their own universe. They take multiple comic lines and they merge them into one to get the story that they want. So it's like... That was the whole thing with, like, you know, when we were piecing together, what was the movie?
The only people that are rumored in the comments is the same three we've been saying.
Someone's saying Kitty Pryde.
I saw one.
Hey, I'm not alone.
I'm not
because it just between Mary Jane.
I think she makes the most sense too.
It makes the most sense.
Her casting.
People change. They dye their hair and they change their hair for movies all the time. It is not that absurd of a thing. I get the point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
Like if you have someone like that contracted with red hair, like there's so many red haired characters that it would kind of lead you that way. But like, I mean, like if someone ever gets to part of Rogue, they're not going to find someone with a natural white strip in their hair.
No, I agree. I just think, I don't know. That's just my take on it. Like if the Harry Potter we mentioned earlier, they come out with the casting, they cast, let's say like a ginger, and you're like, dude, this can be Ron Weasley. And they're like, actually, this is Harry Potter. You'd be like, I would just be like, what? I'd be like, why not Ron?
The thing is, with a show like that, you are talking about they're not going to put that work in to change their hair. Like they are just going to cast them as it is.
Yeah.
You're talking about a big motion picture movie that has millions of billions of dollars behind it that's been around for over 20 some years now, and it's like, they have the authority, the ability, and the monetary to do it.
Yeah.
To change someone's hair. And
I think she'd be good Kitty Pryde. I am fine with her being one of the X-Men just because I want younger actors for X-Men.
I agree.
Like, I want longevity. I don't want
like you said, longevity.
Like a 37-year-old as Jean Grey, and I'd be like,
right.
I'd be like, well, dude, she's got 2 movies in her. Like, I want younger. That's why we're getting 6 from Tom Holland and how many crossover movies? That's what I want for, like, the X-Men.
Yeah.
I do think it'll be interesting. Like, I wonder if they're going to, I mean, they'll say eventually who she's cast as, because they do start filming soon. But I am, we're going to keep you guys up to date.
Should we make a bet?
I don't know which one I think she'll be more.
Well, pick a character. Let's say, like, pick your character who you think they're going to cast. Anyone in the MCU. You could say Thanos. Just, like, to throw a bet out there.
I don't think she'll be Kitty Pryde. I could say that.
Well, but, like, who would you like to see her cast as?
Okay. I want to see her cast as Jean Grey.
God, I hate you so much.
I think she's not necessarily for this film, but I want a young Jean Grey. She's got like the natural red hair, similar to Jean Grey, and she has longevity for the films.
Okay, let me restate the question.
Okay.
Who do you think she is most likely to get cast as in this movie? Because she's obviously going to be in this movie. Yo, that light just went out. And that light. Is the camera still recording?
Let me see. Camera's still recording.
Light just tripped?
Wait, which lights?
That one.
This one came back on.
Is there a bulb in there?
No, that one's bulb out.
Hey, that just flipped
I don't know
off.
what happened there.
That's weird. Okay, for this movie.
I think
this movie, I swear to God, if you say Jean Grey again, I'm gonna lose my mind, bro.
I think she's Mary Jane Watson.
Really? Okay.
The problem with Jean Grey in this film,
it doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. Because if Tom finds out, and then he's like, dude, I'm really having trouble with, I'm struggling with Rhino right now. And she's like,
yeah.
like,
I don't think it makes sense.
Bro, it'd be like, borderline, those of you guys that don't know, borderline calling in Doctor Strange to fight, like, Kraven. And he's just like,
shocker.
Wait, this
calling
guy?
Him to be
and then he's
shocker.
like, strings. Like, think of Scarlet Witch kind of when you see Jean Grey, how they have her. And then you'll get, like, an idea. Like, it'd be like, wait, this guy hold a portal. So now that we have time, I think she makes the most sense.
But Mary Jane is so wild because
I agree.
Dude, the amount of problems that would be caused if there was Mary Jane and MJ, especially when they spent 3 movies having him hung up on MJ.
I agree. Her name is Michelle Jones. I think that's Zendaya's character.
Yeah, that's what it is. Michelle Jones.
So I don't know. It is. I can't wait to see. I'm so intrigued now. I don't even know what this guy's looking up. Bro's scouring the internet.
I'm fact checking something real quick.
But I think Kitty Pryde does make more sense than Jean Grey showing up in the film. But I just don't see her being cast as Jean Grey. Or being cast as Kitty Pryde. So you guys gotta let us know in the comments what you're thinking. Because we're kind of torn here. What do you Bro's speed reading for something, chat.
Spiderman's long time.
What do you think it is?
I was just looking up Michelle Jones in the comics, but everyone's saying the AI overview. I don't think there is a Michelle Jones.
Is there images?
No, because everything's coming up Mary Jane. But they're saying Michelle Jones was a student at Midtown School of Science and Technology, a member of the academics decathlon team, and a classmate of Peter Parker. A loner, she regarded Peter and his friend Ned as losers.
I feel like wait, no, they're just reading that off of the movie, though, right?
Michelle Jones is a Mary Jane in the Marvel Comics, Michelle Jones is Mary Jane Watson's name and a supporting character in Spider-Man's life, often portrayed as a close friend and romantic interest. Dude, like, am I tripping? I'm so confused. I don't think Michelle Jones should have been called Mary Jane Watson from the beginning. Michelle Jones, Earth 99,
MJ. You see all this problem that's already started, and her casting hasn't been released.
Yes.
Like, already people with the confusion. I thought we had Mary Jane. Well,
who was
Jane?
the first Michelle
Mary Jane? Peter like, this isn't that.
Parker dated. Has there ever been an MJ in Spider-Man comics like MJ in the MCU? Yes, but actually no. There's an MJ in the MCU and in the comics. Blah blah blah. Here's the thing. I wish I'd known these secrets sooner. They've slipped so many people. So, yeah, I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sticking with Kitty Pryde.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna be Kitty Pryde, but I think making her MJ or Jean Grey is absolutely senseless. I think you're going to cause way too much confusion.
I agree. We just had confusion for 30 minutes.
Yep. So I'm sticking with Kitty Pryde.
And we both have read comics.
I don't think it's going to be Kitty Pryde.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Holy.
Excuse me. I don't think it's going to be Kitty Pryde. I'm sure we'll do another recording before that.
I can't wait to find out who it is, because once we find out, then we can dive into it more and talk about.
I'm sure we'll do another.
So
recording
that's our three.
Then.
Let us know in the comments who you think it is, or if you think it's someone else.
I wouldn't say our three. It's just the only three that are being talked about.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think. She's not gonna be like Silver Sable, Spider Girl,
unless they just make her Black Cat. unless they really change her hair and make her Black Cat. But
here's another thing.
Let the record show. I brought it up.
Here's another thing for her being MJ. When they bring in Miles, if they bring in, I forgot his name. I think his name's like Caleb, the black actor from Stranger Things. He's up in the running. He could be for Miles Morales. They already have chemistry together. Not for dating, but.
Oh, right. Being on screen together. But what would that have to do with her being MJ?
I don't know.
You just said another thing for MJ. Like it was going to defend it.
If she's going to be in some of the Spider-Man films or something like that, not as a love interest, but maybe like someone to talk to here and there, they do have chemistry and they do have stuff already on the screen together. So it could maybe lean towards one way. It might not, but I'm just thinking of stuff.
I don't know.
We'll see. That one's kind of
I'm not sold on it.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll wait till it's cast and we'll let you guys know. So subscribe because we'll keep you up to date. But now, all right. You got to talk Daredevil. Let me see. I don't want to start this. I'm going to start it off like a separate YouTube video like we did before. All right, guys, we just got done watching episode 3, Daredevil Born Again. We're going to give spoiler free. This one was a pretty Matt Murdock episode. We'll go spoiler free, and I'll let you know before we get into spoilers. That way you can click off if you haven't watched yet. But we got the ending was crazy. We're going to break it down at the end, and we're going to give some more like nerdy insight than most people might or whatever, and then what we think's really going on. Jim, give us your thoughts. Give us a spoiler free review on what you rate it. It starts off courtroom. So, actually,
hang on. Yeah, I got to differentiate between what we actually started watching.
Yeah, I actually started Daredevil season 3 instead of Born Again.
Mad confused for like 5 minutes, like what's going on.
So the episode starts off pretty much Matt washing his hands off.
That's
because we see Kingpin talking to his wife pretty much, and then we get a close up of his knuckles being bruised, and then we get Matt washing his hands, and the guys that he fought,
they're not dead.
Yeah.
Which there was some confusion about that. They're definitely not dead because the guy catches Matt in the bathroom. Well, we're not going to go into details yet. All right. That sounds weird. Guy catches Matt in the bathroom.
Matt Lowe would like that.
All right. It was mostly courtroom.
Yeah, it's mostly a courtroom drama this season. So we go back to the White Tiger case, and then we're kind of trying to break it down. Matt's being the defendant.
All things considered, with the stuff we saw from start to finish, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to sneeze, but it's not working its way up. That's crazy.
Wait, I'm trying to keep you from sneezing.
I'd give it an 8.
An 8?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Just because, like, they're so...
Did you feel tension and drama in the courtroom scenes?
Yes.
Okay.
And I made the comment when we were watching it, that's how you do a lawyer show.
Yeah.
Like, I
have a concern about it. I'll mention it a little bit.
That had such little action in it.
Yeah.
that like I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, yeah, this is a very no action episode.
At the lowest, I would go 7.5.
No action this episode? I'm trying to remember.
No, there's no fights.
Yeah, so this is heavy on the courtroom drama. This is White Tiger's case. That's what this episode is. And Matt's going back and forth as the defendant. Right. And it's a really, I think, well done
I don't think there were any fights.
Courtroom drama. I don't think so either.
There were some high suspense moments.
Yeah, and we got very little Kingpin this episode.
Yes.
There was some we'll talk about at the end and stuff like that in a little bit. But other than him starting off and then reacting to the court outcome for the case, that's pretty much all we see in this episode. So it's heavy on
We
Matt.
all knew how that was going to go because the foreshadowing for that wasn't really foreshadowing because obviously he's trying to win the police and he's this anti-vigilante. And so...
And one thing I liked about this episode is you can see in the court case, and again, props to Charlie Cox, the turmoil they have when they bring up certain evidence in the case that Matt has with his past life and stuff like that. So you're just seeing more like the police are here to do the job. We don't need masked vigilantes such as like Daredevil and all them because they mentioned stuff like that in the previous episodes. And you see him just kind of like almost rolling his eyes, but also like he's like, you're kind of right. And they're like, why would Daredevil need to wear a mask anyways and stuff like that? And then he's just like, you got a point, but he's also like, well, I'm doing some good you guys can't. But it is interesting. And the courtroom drama, you've got the two guys that tried to beat him up in the last episode. They come back. Some of them are defendants.
I only saw the one. I didn't see the other guy.
Yeah, I only saw the one.
But yeah. Are we still doing non-spoiler?
Yeah, well, one more thing, non-spoiler, because again, and then it's pretty much part of the case, is Matt trying to get his witness on the stands as well.
Yep.
So he's struggling with that, hoping his witness pulls through, hoping the defendant goes good, hoping his case is able for the jury. And the other lawyer is good as well. Like, he pleads his case, and you're kind of like, dude's got a point. Like, he does have a point, and you're kind of like, I don't know which way I'd go in the jury. And there is good tension. This is what I wanted from She-Hulk.
Yeah,
right? Like,
we didn't get.
Yeah.
We got a lighthearted comedy.
Which we didn't. Had She-Hulk done this, it would have been better and higher rated.
Yep.
But they just, the She-Hulk was just garbage. But
Trash.
So this, I do enjoy the Matt Murdock drama. You have so little aura.
Stupid wall. I'll put a hole in this wall.
But then after that, are we getting too much Matt Murdock and not enough Daredevil?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because like
you think people are going to say that? I agree.
I think people are going to say that 100%. Yeah. But you have to look at the title. I've said this every time we talked about it. Daredevil Born Again, and it shows you like, do I want to see Daredevil absolutely like destroy some thugs?
More fight scenes.
Yes, like I want to see him just like brutalize these thugs.
Yeah.
But Daredevil is such a beloved character. There's a reason they brought Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. Like, this is not going to be the only time. We get 9 episodes. We're 3 in. This is not going to be the only time we see him. He's going to show up on the big screen. We're going to get that brutalized, like, Daredevil.
I hope so.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got another season of it. Like,
I think they're already shooting season 2.
There you go.
Again.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of those things where it's like, take the story building now because you're going to save yourself so much time over the long haul. Because, again, they took this show from Netflix and they're building it their way. Even though, like, it's a continuation, like, they are building the stepping stones for how they want this show and their world to be.
Yep.
Let them do it now.
It's what
I guarantee we get Daredevil before the season finale. Like,
you think we're getting Daredevil next episode?
No.
So that's where people are going to have the problem.
I think
we're halfway through and we've got maybe 4 minutes of Daredevil.
Let's jump into talking about the details.
And I agree. I don't think we're going to see him.
The reason I don't think we're going to see him, I think we might see him either the next episode or the episode after because of the ending of this episode. But I don't think that it's next episode. I think next episode is going to be the last episode where we see Matt kind of hanging on to, let's call it his humanity, we'll say, because that's obviously how he's fighting with this, like his humanity versus his dark side. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to get one more episode of him fighting with it because, like you said, during the courtroom, like when they're talking about stuff, you see him like twinging and like making. Yeah,
you could see him
he's
like
fighting with himself.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think we get it next episode. And if we do, it's
at the
right
very end.
before the end credits, you see him perched up.
I think that
somewhere.
or putting the mask on,
right,
something like that at the end.
Or pulling the suit out. Like, I don't think you see him doing anything as Daredevil.
I think one thing I did like, some people, I don't really care about the new love interest.
Yeah, you said that.
I could care less. I'm glad there's very little of her in this episode. You see her a little bit, but when she's on screen, I'm just like, it doesn't really matter.
I don't mind it.
I'm just like,
I don't really see a problem with it.
I'm
I
just
don't
like,
mind it.
I
think
don't know.
It's adding up a. It's a perfect soft spot for Daredevil.
I think I'm gonna give this episode. I'm in the same boat as you, a 7.5 or an 8.
I think 7.5 is probably as low as I would go.
Yeah.
Because even though it has such little tension, and like I said when we rated the one episodes, I gave like the one like a 6.5 or something.
Yeah, I think I'm going 7.5 for this episode. 7.5.
There are slower episodes where it's just like I am hooked the entire time, and the story building's there. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the courtroom scene.
Yep.
I love the.
It is a big part of Matt.
background,
It is a big part of
guy
Daredevil.
Caught Matt in the bathroom. And he was like, "Oh, you don't need to wear the glasses inside." And he's like, "Are you talking to me? I'm blind."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, a blind guy that can fight." And it's because it's the cop that he roughed up in the apartment.
Yeah, that guy lost so much aura from that.
So yeah.
But okay, so that wraps up. I think spoiler free. I don't think we can go any more into it spoiler free without diving into spoilers.
I thought we were doing details. That's why I asked.
No, that's fine. That wasn't really like. So now we're diving into spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, if you want to watch it, that's fine. If not, we'll break down. Again, in spoilers. So yeah, it started. That guy approaches Matt in the bathroom and it's pretty much like, you don't have to wear those glasses like you mentioned, and then because that's the guy he beat up, and he's like, so a blind guy that can fight. And then the courtroom kicks off, and we have White Tiger on the stands, and the police are all back in the police, and you hear the guy whisper, he's like, "We can't let the witness get on stage and testify."
Which they already from the last episode they pulled him off. They had him in like a safe house type thing.
Yeah.
They got him the witness. Didn't quite go. Before we get there.
Are you gonna talk about the van?
Yes.
Yeah.
The absolute turnaround that they
Love
had
that.
because it's like his the guy
that worked
Matt
at the bar
calls him
and now
like his
works for
hatchet man.
Yeah.
It's like the ex-cop that like gets him all of his details that's been working for him for a while.
Yep.
They show him and some other dude in a suit who I didn't recognize, but they
like an Asian guy, right?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember who that was.
But they get the witness in a van and then they start driving, and obviously the cops are doing everything they can to stop this witness from showing up. And
in fact, the guy that beat up Matt pulls up to the van as well, and they stop him with the police escort.
Tells him to get out, open up the back of the van, and the ex-cop shows him the badge and whatever. And they open it up, and no one's back there. And then out comes the taxi, the witness, and the other hookup. And they come rolling in. He testifies. Doesn't go the way we think.
Yeah, so Matt asks him the question. And then he's like, have you ever been like a criminal informant for the police? That's
by the way, I think this show does courtroom a lot better than She-Hulk. But I don't know. For people, I don't even want to say I watch a lot of courtroom shows. But like, I think general knowledge is that you can't just straight up ask stuff like that in the courtroom because then you get objected for like leading the witness. Like that's the whole point is you're supposed to ask questions. But he straight up, I said it when we were watching it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's leading the witness because he just straight up asked him like, were you an informant for X and X cop?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think you can do that. Like,
and the guy does say yes. He's like, yeah. And then he's like, how far away from you from this train station or wherever? And he's like, I'm not that far. How often are you there? I'm there quite a bit. Were you there the night of New Year's Eve when the attack happened? And he waits a minute, goes back and forth, and he just goes, I was home alone.
Yeah. Like
Matt gets heated.
You could see him getting the like pressure from the cops. Like he looks over, he's looking at all the cops. He kind of like shrivels in his chair and he starts like avoiding eye contact. And that's when he was like, nope, I was home all night.
And then Matt is like pretty heated.
Pissed.
He's like, you said you, and then he's like, and they're like, order in the court, both of you in my. Oh no, he doesn't call them into his office.
No, not yet.
And then Matt pretty much comes back and he's like, there's only one more option we have. We have to put the defendant on the stands, which is White Tiger.
He withdraws his witness, so he's technically like scrubbed from the records or whatever. I think that's how that works. But
and then what does Matt do?
They put Hector on the stand and he's like asking him like his side of the story. He tells it. And he was like, that's because you're a good person, right? And because he kept like his answer was, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And he's like, yeah, because you're a hero, right? And he was like, I don't understand. And he was like, it's not the first time you've done something like this.
And you can see he knows. Hector knows where this is going.
Matt didn't tell anyone about it. And then, after like going on and on about how he puts himself in danger for other people, rips out the white tiger mask, which
my defendant is White Tiger.
I don't know if we talked about it, but in episode 2, Matt, I think we did.
Yeah.
When he specifically found out that he was White Tiger, he went and he got it scrubbed so either the defense and the prosecutor could not pull it up. And so, like, he kind of, like, saved that for himself. Not that he planned on doing it, but it was the last card they had was to appeal to him being a hero for the public.
Matt pretty much goes through testimony and testimony and testimony of people saved by White Tiger. And he's like, does this sound like the kind of man who would throw someone else in front of a train?
Right,
and
who would initially start a fight with cops.
Yeah, did these people ever tell you they're cops? Not until the one was in front of the train.
Pulled up police reports talking about how White Tiger helped them. And
and then the other guy made a pretty good case. He was like, good people do bad things. And he was like, if he was really this good, why would he even need to wear a mask? And that's where you see turmoil with Matt, where he's like, man, like, dude's got a point. And then he's also like just thinking about it and stuff like that. And then the jury comes back and they're like, first degree murder, not guilty. Second degree murder, not guilty. Third degree murder, not guilty. And Matt, this is key. Matt tells him, manslaughter. Matt tells him, he's like, after this, your days of White Tiger are over. A little
earlier in the episode, he was like, just so you know, like, you can't go back to that.
Yeah.
So, and then, he gets cleared.
Yeah.
And then sure as, the sun rises, he's suiting up as White Tiger. And,
bro's aura forming on the streets for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, bro's just walking down the sidewalk dressed as White Tiger. I said that too. I was like, what's going on? Like, that's what he does? He just walks around the streets like that? Like, right down the road. Not even like back alleys or anything. Just walking down the sidewalk. And, he hears some noises, kind of sounds like a girl squealing or whatever. He starts running. There's some
He has his amulet. He has full suit, full amulet on.
Yeah, the background is Wilson Fisk talking about the court case.
Because what Wilson Fisk asked, he asked for a BB report to come back to his office. And he starts recording an interview with her where he's pretty much like, I made a promise that I'm running on No More Vigilantes.
He said it was maljustice.
And I'm gonna uphold this. And he's also tying towards the police to try and still get their
vote.
100%. Like 100% of this. And he's like, I'm gonna keep that promise or whatever. So it pans back to White Tiger running to help someone. He stops for a minute. Someone pulls a gun right next to his head and blows his brains out. Like one taps the man. That amulet sucks. That amulet is awful.
So the amulet just increases like physical abilities.
I would hope it would increase some other senses.
I think it just increases physical abilities. But yeah, there's a dude in a robe sitting behind the corner. He's wearing a vest with the Punisher skull painted on it, and just pop drops.
Body just drops.
We're gonna talk about because you asked me.
I said. Because they don't show the face. They show the Punisher logo. He walks towards the screen. It ends. Another amazing cliffhanger. And I go, is this Punisher or not?
I said no.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Now, I would fully accept if I'm wrong because the way I look at it, right, is we've seen all these cops in the courtroom when you're seeing the case go back and forth. The one cop that leans over and talks about not letting him get on the stand. He's got a Punisher tat right here.
Yeah, the other one had someone on his
the
hand.
wrist. Like however many more. Are these cops that formed a little subcult or they're working with Frank? And it's like, what's the deal? We don't know the relationship. So it's like it's one of those things. I
think it's more of an idolize him thing.
Right. But so if that's what you think, right? Hear me out. If they're just idolizing him, why would that be actual Punisher? Unless that is his organization. He's got guys on the inside, and one of his own got capped, and he doesn't think whatever. But again, so Matt and Frank, I wouldn't say they're the best of friends. But they know each other. Obviously, they have different idealizations.
They both
on how
get
things
why
get
each
done.
other do what they do.
So, with that being said, I feel like with their history, if Matt set someone free, regardless of if he was in that cult or not, like I feel like there would have to be some type of sensible, like, okay, maybe something deeper is going on here, rather than Frank Castle just murking someone who Matt Murdock, and it's publicized on the news, just set free. And I could be wrong. There might be, maybe there's something going on where he's like, oh, I got to protect my own. You know?
So here's my two things. I think Matt in this show asks Frank Castle for help at one point. I feel like I remember seeing that in the trailer, or they meet up. So it could. Here's another problem as well. Is Matt gonna feel guilt for releasing the information about him being White Tiger? Then he still goes out and gets killed.
Right.
So then there's
100%.
that.
Even though he told him not to, he's 100% going to feel guilt.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to get some backlash from the family because he did that.
And here's why it could be Punisher. I don't think so. I don't think Wilson Fisk reached out to the Punisher.
No.
And was like, yo, I need you to do this.
No, but I love the way that that's set up because Fisk is talking. I don't think Fisk had anything to do with this. I think he made a comment and he was like, 100%. I don't think he had anything to do with this. And I could be wrong. But I think this was just poor time stuff because you have to look at it. He's trying to build his empire as the mayor without criminality, right? Even though obviously he's doing some shady stuff on the side, he's trying to make it seem as clean as possible.
Yeah.
There is nothing clean about how he's saying how he's going to take care of it. And then let's say the murder gets, like, everyone knows about it because he just walked away. He left the body there. So White Tiger's dead on the street. You know, someone's going to find that body. It's kind of fishy for him to say, we're going to take care of it, and then he goes and murks the guy.
But did he take care of a cop killer so no one cares?
I don't think that's the case because everyone was overjoyed, and that's exactly why the jury let him go, right? So, or the body gets taken care of, and White Tiger's missing.
Yeah.
Rather than publicly saying, hey, I'm going to take care of this, and not publicly taking care of it. I
think we start off next episode with White Tiger. They know he's dead.
I don't think Fisk did this, and I think there's going to be backlash for him doing it because he made a note publicly saying that he did it when he didn't. So now he's got to prove that he's not doing this criminally, but he's going to find the killer.
So then I think there's a chance we see Punisher next episode from the point of where Matt gets information who killed what's it called? White Tiger, and then they're like, all we seen was just someone with a skull on their chest,
right?
And then I think I would assume Matt still has tabs
probably
on Frank, and then he goes and meets him, and he's like, I thought we were done with all this, and then Frank has no idea what's going on, and then they realize that was like because the cops weren't happy with him being set free,
right?
So a cop dressed up as Punisher with the chest and the plate and everything.
Because there's obviously some type of idolization going on.
So then I think, and then Punisher's like, who are these people dressed up as me? And I think he's mad, which is when he comes in to like help Matt and stuff like that. And we still don't have the villain of the show yet. Muse has not been seen.
You say that. I understand Muse is gonna be in the show, but I still think Kingpin is the main villain of the show.
Really? What? I just don't.
I think they're going for longevity here, and I think Kingpin's going to be the villain. I think Muse might be a big baddie that gets Daredevil to act because regardless of the fact that that is how Kingpin has always operated. That is who Kingpin is.
He's a string puller.
Exactly. Yeah. He is not supposed to be the one up front fighting with Daredevil. There's plenty of times that he gets in fist fights because he's supposed to have that insane strength.
Yeah.
And yes, even in the series. But that his persona is shut up. His persona is pulling the strings. He has people do their dirty work. So yes, I think when Muse pops up, I don't think Muse is technically should be classified as the main villain. I think he's going to be a weapon for Fisk to use.
I get what you're saying.
I think he's probably going to be the ones that throws hands with Daredevil and he starts tugging on Daredevil.
I think it's one of Fisk's bodyguards. I think it's that's my early guess.
Well, that's the thing. Him. That guy was in the main series.
Yeah.
Like I'm so positive about that.
Okay. That's my guess right now. I'm still going to stick with it. I could be completely wrong.
That scene with him meeting with the gangster heads and whatnot, like there's a scene similar like that to in Daredevil where like he goes and does the dirty work and that same thing. It was like the Albanian or whatever. And he was like, you know, I'm going to talk to the head. I don't want his like second string man or whatever, that type thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that was supposed to be a head nod because I vividly remember a scene like that.
Okay.
Like early on in the show.
The only reason I would think it also wouldn't be him if I'm going both ways. Did you watch the show Wednesday? There was a guy in there that was cast. I think his name's like Tyler or something in the show. But I feel like I read somewhere that maybe he was cast as Muse. And I haven't seen him yet. So I don't know if that was a rumor casting or not. But that would be the only reason I wouldn't think it was him. But up until this point, I think that the guy I mentioned before would be Muse, if not that guy from Wednesday,
Right.
who I haven't seen. But because Muse is pretty corrupt. For those of you that don't know, like,
about Muse.
I mean, he pretty much murders people and then like paints paintings with their blood and like mails it to people. He like hangs them upside down so they drip free of their blood. Nice. So he would be good for a dark, gritty,
right,
like Daredevil show like this. But I don't think we see Daredevil next episode. If it's not very, very end of it. I think we definitely get Frank Castle mentioned next episode. I feel like
something 100%. Even if he doesn't show up on screen, there's definitely something about him that comes up because of the fact that, you know, it's hard to think that Matt's not going to find out about White Tiger dying,
because all the police were pretty upset. I mean, with the results.
Yeah,
at least a good portion of them. They were like, they wanted the guy dead. They tried to kill him 2 or 3 times already. The witness. So then they're like, you know, we're just gonna take him and just bullet to the brain and dead.
Yeah.
So it is kind of crazy though. They threw White Tiger in this show.
I mean,
they did. They did it to Foggy.
Yeah, they have a knack for this.
I just wouldn't think like that. The amulet may go to his niece or whatever.
Right.
We'll see. We didn't see enough of her to even understand that. I could
see it being set up for something later down the line.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Daredevil, but you know.
Yeah, so it was a really good court drama episode. Next week, I don't know what all next week's episode's going to entail. Obviously, him finding out and maybe going to a castle, but I don't feel like that's enough.
If they jump right to it.
Yeah.
He could find out, and it could get put on the back burner for now.
Yeah. And then this
because
is probably...
obviously this built some tension between Fisk and Matt because, you know, Matt just released a vigilante who he knows Fisk is against, but is Fisk going to do anything about it knowing Matt's real identity? Or
And Fisk has already said, if you put on that mask again and you step out of line, we will be there to stop you. So he's like, and any other vigilantes. And then Matt's also said, if you step out of line, like, I'll be there to stop you as well. So they're like, is this the line?
Yeah.
And is he going to...
Because he's still a lawyer. He's
Yeah.
doing his job. And he didn't know about the White Tiger thing until after, but Fisk doesn't know that. So
yeah, so there is a lot of like interesting elements and stuff going on, and I'm still intrigued. Like I can't wait for next week's episode.
I'm here for
like it's the best thing Disney has dropped in a while. It's the best thing Marvel has dropped in a while.
100%.
Like I'd rather watch this. I'd rather rewatch these episodes than go watch Captain America in theaters. I'm being serious.
Did you watch it yet?
No. There's like 0 good reviews. Normally I make my own opinion, but like,
we gotta watch it soon. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of what else. We went over predictions for next week's episode. I think Castle gets mentioned. I think Daredevil at the very, very end of some type of mask on, opening a suitcase, pulling it out, something like that. And I think we start to get Muse mentioned as well. That's episode 4. We'll be halfway through.
Right.
There's only, 9?
Yeah.
So we've got to kick up the Daredevil action soon.
I find it hard to believe that they go the whole series without him turning into Daredevil. Like, I do find a hard time believing that. So, we'll see.
I don't think I have anything else. Let us know you guys' thoughts in the comments about, like, who you think Muse is. Do we think Castle shot him at the end or no? Do we think it's lackeys? Do we think this is going to cause drama between Fisk and Matt and everything? Like, if Fisk didn't hire the guy and Matt hears the tape and then he finds out White Tiger is dead, is Matt really going to believe...
Right, that Fisk didn't do it. And then that's where you're going to start getting these two going at each other's throats.
Yeah. And then that's where, like, some other stuff is just going to happen. And then Castle comes back. I think Castle's going to be on Matt's side for this whole show. I don't ever see him really siding with Kingpin for anything.
Oh, no, not at all. But, I mean, I don't know if I'd say on his side.
Yeah. No, yeah. On his side, probably.
He could be like a chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
So...
I'm excited to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see John Bernthal come back. I can't lie. Their chemistry is good.
It is.
Like, you know the scene. This was kind of off topic, but Green Goblin and Spider-Man on the rooftop in Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. When he's
I love that
monologue,
monologue, and then I love Frank Castle's with Charlie Cox's monologue on the roof and stuff as well. Those are both just great, and I don't know. I can't wait. Let us know you guys' thoughts in the comments. You got anything else, Jim?
No, I got it. That's pretty much it.
That wraps up the review. That wraps up the pod. We'll keep you guys up to date. And don't forget to follow because we got that Sadie Sink casting and when they officially say who she is as Jean Grey.
You're incorrect. You didn't even say Jean Grey. You said Mary Jane.
We'll see you guys next week. It's not Kitty Pryde Price.